Hi guys! So I'm on my way to a wedding, but I wanted to do a quick update because I actually wrote something. I'm so happy. My plan is working, and starting a YouTube channel has inspired me to actually do some writing. So sorry if this footage is a little shaky or sounds a little funny. I've never filmed in the car before. So I'm on my way to photograph a wedding, and it's about a half an hour away from me, which is way closer than most of them are. But anyway, I wanted to just get on here and actually film something because I did it, guys. I wrote something for the first time since like November. I wrote a little over 1,100 words one morning, and I think I'm figuring out a schedule that might work for me if I can actually get to bed at a decent time. My husband gets up at 5 a.m. to go to work. And this past week, I've been waking up with him and just like, spending some time with him before he goes to work. And one of the days I was like, well, I should just try to write instead of going back to bed after he leaves. So I just sat up in bed and typed on my iPad, and I actually got something I'm really happy with. So I did that. I wrote 1,000 words. Well, it was like 1,100 some words. And I wrote a whole scene that I am actually pretty happy with. That's all the writing I've gotten done. But I have been working on a custom challenge for myself to write my novel by the end of the year, because that was one of my New Year's resolutions. I don't always do New Year's resolutions, but this year I did. And I would like to at least accomplish some of them. So this is one of my New Year's resolutions this year was to finish the first draft of my novel. And I should probably say too that if you did watch my first video, I am working on my fantasy novel. So I was not sure which novel I would work on. I have a few ideas that I was throwing around, but this one is the one that excites me the most. And I feel like I've got to give myself every advantage to actually get some of this writing done. So I am working on my fantasy novel, and I'm not sure, okay, here's a question for everybody. What is the deal with how much information you should share, right? I've watched people share a lot of information, and I've watched people share no information, including titles of books and stuff like that. So I don't know. How do I find out what the deal is there? Is it if you ever want hope of traditional publishing, you shouldn't share any information? Is that what it is? Or is it just people don't want people to steal their ideas? I'm not so much worried about that as I am just doing something that could, hinder getting published in the future. Not that I think I'm not set on traditional publishing, but I wouldn't want to rule it out. I probably will attempt to query before I decide to self-publish, but that's just where I'm at right now. I also am pretty attached to things like the title of my book, and I've done some graphic design in the past, and I'd like to retain some creative control as far as my cover goes. I have a couple of designs already. I haven't even written the book, and I have some temporary covers already that I like. They inspire me, right? They inspire me to write. And that's what I did the other day. Actually, the day before I got any writing done, I mocked up a new version of my cover, and I was pretty happy with it. So it really got me in the mood to write and see this story actually come to life. But yeah, so I guess that's what I want to know. If anybody has any information about whether, because I hear some people say I can't say that, but I don't know why they say that. Why do they say I can't share this or I can't share that? And then other people, I like knowing at least a little bit about what's going on in their books to see if it would be something that would interest me or whatever. And how do you keep talking about your book if you aren't actually talking about your book? So, okay. That was a big ramble. So yeah, that's my quick little update. I did come up with a challenge for myself to actually get the novel finished by the end of the year. And I have it so that the first week is outlining with the Save the Cat method, I guess. And first week is that, and then the next 19 weeks, because there's 20 weeks left in the year, the next 19 weeks are writing, and I have it broken down into what ideally I should be working on by that point. It's my goal to write 80,000 words in the first draft of my novel. That's like a tentative goal. I don't know what kind of writer I am. I feel like maybe I'm going to be an overwriter, but maybe not. I don't know. I feel pretty good about it. It seems like a pretty doable goal, and I am looking forward to actually, making it happen. So I feel like I can do it. Anyway, so I'm going to go shoot this wedding today, and it's an all-day thing. So my part of the wedding starts at 11 and ends at 9. So it's a 10-hour wedding, and I won't be home until basically 10. So I will not have time for writing today, but maybe tomorrow. We'll see. So my plan is for this vlog to encompass the first week of my challenge, which is the outlining stage. So hopefully by the end of this vlog, I will have a full outline and know where my book is going and be confident in, I feel like that's a big part of what's holding me back from writing it. I can just imagine how good I'll feel when I have an actual outline. So, okay, let's see. We'll see how it goes though. All right, I'll keep you guys updated. I was just thinking, I should write about weddings. There's so many funny things that go on in weddings. Okay. It's very loud here, and I hope that I have my mic set up good enough to where you're not getting all the background noise. Anyway, okay, let me back up. Okay, first, my first video I posted about 2 weeks ago, and I was hoping to already have another video up by now, but life got crazy like it always does. My kids all got sick with a nasty cold, and they were very, very whiny, and there was no time to be filming anything. And then my husband and I both got it as soon as the kids got better, and it's just been all my voice is still not completely normal. Anyway, so we all got sick, and then I had a wedding over the weekend, and then this last week was mine and my husband's 20th anniversary, and I had to take a break from anything else creative to paint him a painting, which has been kind of an ongoing joke. I'm not a painter. It's been an ongoing joke between us that he's commissioned a painting off of me, and he did go and buy me a bunch of nice acrylic paints at one point and some huge canvases. And I actually did that this week for our anniversary, and actually it turned out fine, like as well as I could have hoped for it to turn out, as a person who, like I said, is not a painter. So that was a lot of fun though, and if I can get a good picture of it, I'll like put it up here.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Look at it. It looks so good. Bring it up, babe. Dang. This is my painting.
He was super happy with it. I'm just realizing now that this plant kind of looks like it's my hair sticking up in the background. Okay, maybe I'll just... No, that looks funny. Okay, well, that's not my hair. Here we go. I'll block it. I'm not sure if I said this last time, but it has been my goal to finish the first draft of my book this year. It was on my New Year's resolutions list that I made for this year, and not many of the other ones have happened. So this one's going to happen. I'm going to get my first draft done before the new year. So today, I am jumping in, and I'm going to be outlining my currently young adult fantasy novel. So I have a few different things that I'm going to be working with. I'm using the Save the Cat Writes. I don't have a front cover on my book, so I'm just going to go like this. Can you see? There we go. Save the Cat Writes a Novel. My poor sad cover. I'm going to buy a new one at some point, but I've already got this one all like highlighted and like marked up. I'm fighting the urge to learn how to bind books so that I can have an actual cover on here. write the book, and then I can figure this out. I have a good idea of what is going to happen in this novel, but I don't have a lot of things that I feel like I need to know going into it. It's my plan today to go through and try to figure out what can happen in these beats. And that, that could take a while, because this is the kind of stuff that keeps me from doing things, because everything's not settled in my mind. I'm definitely not a pantser. I could pants something that I didn't care about, I think. Like, if I just wanted to sit down and write, I'm sure I would come up with something, but I don't think I would be happy with it in the end. So I feel like I have to have at least a loose outline of where things are going. So I'm going to follow along with this. And in this book, there are, I think it's 15 beats. It's been a long time since I looked at this. 15 main beats. All right, so it's now Monday afternoon. It's about 2 o'clock. I just got my daughter down for her nap, and I am gonna have some lunch and try to multitask and get some outlining done and get some work done on this. So, all right, here we go. I've got my Emotional Wound Thesaurus book. Okay.
Mama.
Hey, girl.
Mama. And this.
Yep.
Mama.
Oh, here, look. They're on there. So I've gone through, and I have tabbed where some of these emotional wounds that my characters may have from their past. And these books are pretty fantastic. So here's one. So, failing to save someone's life, right? So Aurora's mother was killed, and she was there. She doesn't remember the incident, though. So it says here, and here's some good ones. The character may fear not knowing critical information when it's needed, or they may fear love and connection. So both of those are good ones for Aurora. Okay. Here's a good one. Using work as a shield to avoid people and relationships. I think that's her, but she's doing that with like school. Yes, becoming fiercely self-reliant, so one never has to depend on others. Choosing emotional numbness over feeling deeply. Struggle with building healthy, balanced relationships. Okay, so I feel like this book is going to be really helpful, and I'll go through more of this later, but I feel like for Aurora, I really have to have a good idea of what are things that need to happen in the book, because according to Save the Cat, this book needs to be about the person who's going to change the most over the course of the book. And so as her as my main character, I want to make sure that she has a good story arc, and that she definitely has a lot of transformation happening. So a lot of the things that I'm going to be throwing at them are going to be geared toward that. So that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to stop recording for a second and just do some more writing, and I'll be back. Okay, so I actually made some progress on outlining, and so I'm just trying to immerse myself back in that world. So I thought I would show a little bit of my Pinterest boards for my novel, which I don't know if I've said this before, but I do have a title for it, but nobody really says those titles. So I don't know how much, if there's a reason, what's the reason people don't tell titles for their books? Is it you shouldn't choose a title for your book yet? Or is it maybe it's so that they have in case they want to change it or something like that. So my working title, which is not the real title for this book, is Project Nightfall. And yeah, so here's my Pinterest boards for that. I think this is already recording, but so here's my main city. This is the capital city where Aurora and Wesley grew up, and they live, and it's on some cliffs. And a lot of my inspiration from this is taken from cliffs in Italy or Ireland. Anyway, this is Aurora and Wesley's relationship, and cliff diving is a pretty big thing there, and cliff climbing is a pretty big thing in their city. So lots of cliffs, and most of the people there are very, very good at climbing. Aurora and Wesley included. So here we have like, let's see. Okay, here, this one is inspiration for the, I have a name for it, but I can't remember what it was called. The Citadel, I think is what it was. Anyway, this is like where ceremonies and stuff happens. And anyways, it's not actually in the clouds in my book on a cliff, but overlooking. Sometimes the clouds are there. And yeah, so this is basically the beginning opening scene settings where it is. Like this is kind of like what it looks like where Wesley lives. And anyway, so there's that. And then here we have Aurora, inspiration photos for her character, and Wesley. And then, so I have Milo here, who is the other character I'm considering doing a POV about. And yeah, he's from what's called the Oathsworn. That's who his family is from, this group of people. They are kind of like the leaders of it and have been for like a long time. Anyway, this is kind of like their vibe. They're like, they live more simply like in the forest, and it's kind of more, I guess, a fantasy setting. Well, anyway, cozy forest, magical forest setting. And then here we have, let's see, this is the king. Don't need to zoom in on that. The king. This is Aurora's mother, who was killed when she was young. Some clothing inspirations. This is the prince. And let's see. This is a new character. I think this is going to be, I think it's called, where is that? The B story character, who she's going to be kind of the one who like is the guide or whatever, kind of like leads them, helps Aurora through a lot of her B story, which is what Save the Cat refers to as like the internal story, the stuff that happens inside. So the A story is everything that's happening on the outside, like the action beats, the like the actual circumstances that the people are in, and the B story is how that's affecting them internally. So that gives you a little bit about the vibes of this place. I have basically Act 1. I'm not going to say outlined because, again, this is not an outline, but it is, in my mind, an idea of what's going to happen in each of these places. So I feel like that's probably what I'll end on today, and I'll work on maybe Act 2 tonight. I probably won't film a lot of that because I have a really hard time getting any time to actually film, but I will work on the rest of these off camera, and then I will update you guys and finish this video out. So,
all right, good morning, guys. So today is Thursday, and I was somehow able to wake up before all of my kids. They're all still sleeping. And one of the benefits of homeschooling is that they can't sleep in. So I'm going to try to get some work done this morning because we are leaving for vacation tomorrow. So I'd like to get this video edited before then so I can upload it. So I'm so excited because yesterday I did way more than I was planning to. I was planning to get through, yesterday, Break Into 2, B Story, Brainstorm, 3 Fun and Games scenes. So I was supposed to get through the Fun and Games beat. And yesterday I got through, oh my word, I'm almost done with the book as far as outlining. Obviously I haven't written it, but I've got the midpoint twist. I have some bad guys close in moments. I got my All Is Lost, Dark Night of the Soul, Break Into 3. Maybe I don't have the Break Into 3 yet, but I have the finale. I need to work on the finale, the final image, and the Break Into 3. But I got so much done. I'm gonna see if I can pull this up. And right now, I'm just writing in Google Docs, and I'm actually loving it so far. I have Scrivener for Mac, but I this summer just had to get a new computer. My the last wedding I did, last solo wedding, so that means I do all the editing on the images and everything like that. My computer wouldn't import or export photos and wouldn't export video, and I was having a little bit of a panic moment because I was not planning to buy a new computer this summer, and I've been a Mac user for, I haven't had a PC since maybe 2010. I'm trying to think, maybe before then. So I've been a Mac user for a long time, and I do love the Mac so much. And I still have my laptop and I can still write on it, but I can't do anything more intensive like edit videos, which is obviously if I want to have a YouTube channel, I need to be able to edit videos and for weddings and photos and stuff. So anyway, I got a PC. I built it myself, and I've always wanted to build a PC. I love my computer, but I'm still getting used to using Windows again and not Mac OS. So that was not important information. Okay, Google Docs, Drive. I was using Scrivener. That was what I was saying. I was using Scrivener in the past, and I feel like it didn't work well for my brain. I like to have all my information. You know what? I probably didn't give it enough time. I'm sure that once I'm actually more knowledgeable about what my system is for writing and what I prefer and stuff like that, that I could make it work for myself. But I didn't want to buy another license for Windows until I had this stuff figured out. Because if I can buy free on Google Docs, which has much better integration with other devices, so I can pick this up on my iPad or my phone or my laptop or my PC at any time, and it's updated. Anyways, that for me right now is it's just amazing. Because I do have to move around sometimes. My daughter or someone will need me, and I will have to go, but I can pick it up, somewhere else. So I'm planning maybe to just take my iPad on vacation with me and see if I can get by writing on that. So I have so we'll see. I have all these keyboards. I could probably take one of those with me because I so much prefer typing on an actual keyboard than the little flat keys like on Mac stuff. Even when I was still using my Mac, I would hook it up to my monitor and I would use my keyboard. So none of this is important. I am so excited because I've made a ton of progress, and I feel like I can actually write the book now. And that is such a good feeling, because before I just didn't know where it was going. And I think I'm discovering that my brain does not like to write anything if it's something I'm just going to have to change. Not that would be a big deal, because I could just change it or I could just rewrite it. But if I don't have an aim for where I'm going, it's very difficult for me to make myself write. I just keep thinking, but I don't know. I feel unsure and things like that. So, okay, let me get in here. What was I doing? Okay, save the cat beat sheet. I made this beat sheet up the other day. Does it just get dark in here? Should I turn the light on? Okay, wow. It may be really dim right now, but you guys aren't here to look at me. You're here to know that I have made so much progress. Okay, so I need to write some bad guys close-in scenes out. Oh, it feels so good to have all this stuff figured out. Can't even explain. I figured so much stuff out yesterday about my magic system and about the characters themselves, things that have happened. And honestly, one of the things that helped me the most was kind of figuring out what happened before. Like, where did this world come from? Where did this planet come from? And it's so ridiculous. I think I'm going to write, eventually, if this goes well, I have ideas to write a whole origin story, and I love the ideas of it. Anyway, I know they say your first 4 or 5 books are going to be crap, and that makes me really sad, because maybe I will just write them all and then I will come back and rewrite them all eventually in a few years. I don't know. I hope they're wrong, and that I can somehow eventually turn this into something amazing, because I love these characters and I love the story and I want other people to know them. Okay, here's Act 2 is in the pink. Break into 2, B story, fun and games, midpoint. I need to write out my beats for the bad guys close in. I have the all is lost, dark night of the soul, break into 3. I just need to figure out exactly what the plan is for them to get to the finale, which I already have a really good idea about, and then go on. And I might just leave this final image like just like a few words, like mirror what happened in the first image, but people are very different now, obviously, after all their story arcs. And honestly, this is just Aurora's arc. I will have to fit in, if I'm going to use other characters as well, I will have to do the same thing for their arcs. But my story, I know what's going to actually happen in my story, so I can write, I feel like. Okay, I just have to make sure everything aligns and that other characters are still having good character arcs and stuff like that. So what I need to do today is work on the bad guys close it, and the finale, just type that out. I already have it figured out in my mind. And okay guys, when I was like figuring out the finale yesterday, I got literal chills, so that was a good feeling. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to do this real quick. Okay. Just realizing this is a really unflattering thing to do. We'll see. Okay.
Okay. All right. So I did it. I'm done with the outline. All 15 beats from Save the Cat are done. I have mapped out my novel, and I'm sure, again, that there are things that will change in time, but I have a direction, and I'm so excited to get into writing this. I'm so happy with the book as it is, and it's such a fun feeling knowing like how this story is going to end. I'm so excited to be done with that, and just to have, it feels like it's been such a long time coming. I've been thinking about this story, but only like vaguely past, since the first like third of the book. I haven't had a direction, and I'm so happy to have a direction now. So I just finished the first week of my 20-week schedule I've set up for myself, and next week is writing. Let's see. The first week was just outlining, using Save the Cat. For the first week of writing, my weekly word goal is 4,000 words. So I feel like that's really doable. I'm going to be on vacation, so if I don't get anything done this week, I will just move next week to being the first week of writing. But I feel like I should have some extra time to get some writing done. 4,000 words is not that much, and I really am so excited to get into it. I have it broken down according to the beats of Save the Cat. So it looks like this week I will be writing the opening image and the catalyst, part 1. So I have the first 2 weeks is writing the opening image and the catalyst, or all the scenes that happen in those particular beats. So I'm super excited to get to go on vacation. First of all, I'm super excited, and like I said, I have my reading list. Let's see if I got it here. This is the stack of books I'm taking. I'm a mood reader. Like I think I said that in my last video, but I am definitely a mood reader. And also, we don't really know what the weather's going to be like. There's a cold front coming in, so it could be cold, it could be hot. We'll see which ones I actually get into. And then I'm also taking my Kindle, which has so many books on it. So we'll see if I actually get any reading done or writing, and hopefully definitely some relaxing and refilling my creative mind. That's my hope for this. This has been the end of my first writing vlog, and I'm really happy with it. Maybe not the video. I have no idea how the video is going to come together, but I'm really happy with what I've accomplished as far as my book goes. And I hope that you all have had a good writing week and that you have made some good progress on your books. And yeah, hopefully I'll be back soon with another writing vlog. I'll try to, if I get any writing done, I'll see if I can get any footage on vacation. My older girls would really like to go to some cafes and write and stuff, so that would be a lot of fun. Thank you all for commenting and welcoming me to the community on the last video. It was very nice. I didn't know if anybody would even see that video, so it was nice that there are people who are so welcoming, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Bye.